Hey, what's up? TY, Trinity Youth, how's it going? Josh here. Hey, it is Thursday. It's actually a snow day today, so I've been trapped inside as well as probably all of you guys have been. But hope you guys are doing well. Winter is proving to be winter? That's a fair way to put it. Winter is being winter. Anyways, question: how many of you guys do you guys like card tricks? I have a deck of cards in my hand. These are my favorite cards. Here they are. Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. They are charity water cards. But anyways, you guys like card tricks? I've got a couple that I do, and some of you guys have seen them before, and they're pretty good. I'm not gonna do it here because I don't have that whole like do it thing. I could. I mean, I could just be like, hey, you want to see your card here? It's this. Is it a three clubs? Just joking. I'm not gonna do that. But I like watching card tricks. The thing is, how many of you, when you see a card trick or you see some sort of like magic trick, as soon as somebody does it, and you're like, how did you do that? What's the very next thing out of your mouth? I guarantee it's do it again, do it again, do it again. Mostly because we don't like to like not understand, right? Like, how did you just trick my brain? I don't like that. Also, for some reason, I think we all think that the next time you do that trick, I'm gonna find out where you tricked me, and I will understand it then, and then I can sleep at night. Because right now I have no idea how you made that horse disappear, and it's going to bother me until I figure it out. It's like not having the ability to believe what our eyes see, right? And so often we want to make sense of it and believe what I just saw is right or true. James, my boy James Tolick out there, James, next time we're all together as a youth group, I want you to do some magic tricks on us. James has got some good magic tricks. But it's this idea that it's hard for us to believe what we just saw or didn't see, right? And we are going through the book of Mark right now. And today I'm going to read a story out of Mark 8. But like I said in a few weeks back when I introduced the book of Mark, Mark is it was probably the first gospel written, the earliest gospel that was written, and as you read it, it's full of miracles. It's full of times that Jesus is performing miracles, and I can only imagine. I mean, think about it. I can only imagine what it must have been like to either be a disciple, one of the 12 guys that like dropped their nets and just went and followed him, right? Left their life essentially that they knew behind and went and followed him. What would it be like to be one of them, or one of the people that Jesus had regular interactions with? Or, you lived in a town that Jesus came to when he traveled around, and he performed miracles right there in front of you. What would you have done? Probably like a magic trick. We'd be like, okay, hold up. Do that again. Roll that back. I want to see that. Make that guy blind again, and then remake him not blind. I missed something there. I want to see it. Go. Do it again. I'm watching you, Jesus. Go. Not going to do it again. Fine. Okay, fine. Not do it again. I just played that whole scene out in my head. But I can only imagine what it would have been like to be one of the disciples and to be walking with this guy and seeing these things that basically their eyes would have been like, wait, what did I just see? No. Dude, I'm going to share a story with you in Mark 8. In Mark 8. And actually, in Mark, there are two stories of Jesus feeding thousands of people with very little bread. Two stories. And in Mark 8, I'm just going to read this quick story. Then I want us to concentrate at the end of it. I'm going to be doing 1 through 13. I want us to concentrate on the Pharisees and the way that the Pharisees reacted. part of me is like, I don't like the Pharisees in the New Testament, in the Gospels. Like, I don't like them. I don't like the way they're portrayed. Jesus like doesn't have very many good things to say to them. They're like, for me, they're like the bad guys on the story. And yet I wonder, especially in this case, am I a little bit like the Pharisees? Would I have reacted similar? So here we go, because I'm just going to do a couple. I just want to ask a couple questions, because I think there's something we can pull out that's pretty quick. In those days, when again a great crowd had gathered and they had nothing to eat, he called his disciples to him and said to them, guys, this is 2 chapters after he already fed 5,000 people. All right, he already fed 5,000. I have Jesus said this to the disciples. He says, I have compassion on the crowd because they have been with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat. Time out. Jesus, you had people with you for 3 days and now you're like, we need to feed them. Okay. That's cool. Okay. I don't know. 3 hours in, I would have been like, is it snack time? Okay. 3 days. Here we go. And if I send them away, Jesus understood though. He goes, and if I send them away hungry to their homes, they will faint on the way. And some of them have come from far away. So Jesus is like, we can't just send them home. We don't want people fainting when they go home. So, and his disciples answered him, well, how can one feed those people with bread here in this desolate place? And he asked them, how many loaves do you have? They said 7. And he directed the crowd to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves, and having given thanks, he broke them and gave them to the disciples to set before the people. And they set them before the crowd, and they had a few small fish. And having blessed them, he said to these also should be set before them. And they ate and were satisfied. And they took up the broken pieces left over, 7 baskets full. And there were about 4,000 people, and he sent them away. And immediately he got into the boat, and his disciples went to the district of Dalmanutha. Love that place. So wait, before I continue, so the scene, Jesus is like, yo, these people have been with me for 3 days and they haven't eaten anything, and it's time to go home, and we probably shouldn't send them home on an empty stomach. How much food we got? 7 loaves? Perfect. Oh, and a few small fish. Great. All right. Feed everybody. Pass out the food. Let's do this so everybody can be on their way. And at the end, everybody was satisfied, which I don't know about you. After a meal, if you're going to say, I'm satisfied, you're going to say, that's like saying, oh man, I'm full. That was awesome. That's not like saying, I'm starving, and you have a cracker and you're like, okay, I'm satisfied. I'm good. No. The way I read that is, they had the food they need. They were full. They're good. Like, Jesus, thank you. Good fish, good bread. I'm ready to go. Now, here's the part. I'm going to keep going. So they're all satisfied. They go on their way. The Pharisees came and began to argue with him, seeking from him a sign from heaven to test him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and said, why does this generation seek a sign? Truly I say to you, no sign will be given to a generation. And he left them and got into a boat and went to the other side. Now, I don't know specifically what Pharisees were there when, if, or at any of the times Jesus was performing those miracles. But I'm guessing if they weren't there, they had been hearing about this from, like, word was spreading around town, okay? Whatever form of social media they had back then, it was trending, right? Guy performing miracles over there. Or 4,000 people ate and got filled off a few loaves of bread before they went home. Hashtag, whatever that is. Not whatever hashtag is. I know what that is. I mean, whatever, you get it, whatever. So here, these Pharisees are like, hey, give us a sign. Give us a sign. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, they got to know either by firsthand account or by word of mouth that Jesus is doing these crazy signs already. And yet they're like, Jesus, show us something. Come on, man, show us something. Yeah, that feeding 4,000 people with a couple loaves, not good enough. Healing the blind, whatever, the not good enough, show us something. And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, I wonder what God does in my midst, in the midst of my life, in the way I live. I wonder what He's doing that I'm missing, or is there something I'm missing? I don't know. I mean, the Pharisees missed it, right? They totally missed it. He just fed 4,000 people is probably more, depending on how you read it. It could have been up to like 8,000 people, 10,000 people if they were just counting the men. Thousands of people, and they missed it. I started to think, I'm like, what God do I miss? Like, what are you doing in our world, in the life, in my life, and the things around me that I'm just completely missing? Um, I was telling somebody about this recently. Have you? So now I know not a lot of you, maybe some of you have a car, a lot of you don't, especially if you're like in middle school, you probably don't have a car yet. If you do, good on you. Um, but this is what happens. This is my experience, and then I've talked to other people who have the same experience, and you might have experienced it with your parents' car. When you get a brand new car, okay, brand new car. I'm gonna go back to 2001. I bought a Volkswagen Jetta. And it was like, at the time, it was so sweet, man. I loved it because like the lights inside were like fire red when you turn them on, and it was just sweet. I love that car. Um, and you know what? I never. I noticed that once I bought the Jetta and started driving around in it, every other Jetta on the road, I was like, oh, there's a Jetta. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, there's a Jetta. Oh, there. I saw every single Jetta on the road. Um, when you get that car, right? Now all of a sudden, every other one of those cars you see, you're like, there it goes, you get it. I wonder if we could do that with what God is doing in the world. If somehow we could be attuned to the things that He's doing, and then we just start seeing little things all over the place. See, I think when people are loving their neighbors in real, authentic, tangible ways, man, God's up to something there, right? When people are bringing the love of God into other people's lives, encouraging them, offering forgiveness, offering grace, offering mercy, compassion, empathy, love, joy. When we bring those things and we offer them, that's like a glimpse of God doing some work, right? And if that's happening all over, because I know it does, I know it happens. Am I tuned to those things? Can I see God at work? Because that's how God works a lot of times, right? Is He uses His people. He calls us to go be His hands and feet in our world, in our community. And I think sometimes I just need to be attuned to it, right? I just got to be looking for it. And then when I see it, I got to believe that that's God that does it and not go, okay, that was cool, but do it again. That was, show me a sign, God. And God's like, you want a sign, and yet I am busy right now all over the place, and you want a sign. And I'm busy. I'm busy working. I'm busy bringing my light. I'm busy bringing hope into this world. I'm busy showering people with love. I'm busy using people to encourage others. Now, my hope is, for me and for you, is that we could say, okay, God, well, we want to be a part of that. And then what starts to happen, just like when you get that new car and you're driving in that Jetta, and I start seeing it all over the place. When I let God do that, when I start to participate in what He's doing in this world, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to see Him and others participating in what He's doing a lot more clear. That's just how it works. You start volunteering somewhere and giving your time because you want to love people well, all of a sudden you're going to start to see a lot of other people that are doing stuff like that. And you're going to start to see people for who God sees them, and you're going to love them. It's just the way this thing works. So here's my prayer. God, would you give me eyes to see what you're already doing in this world? God, would you give me eyes to trust when I see you working in this world that that's you up to good? God, would you help me to participate in what you're doing in this world? God, I want to be a part of feeding the 4,000. I want to be a part of whatever it is that looks like. Here I am. I want to be in it. And then I want to start to see and participate in that. That's my prayer for you, for me, for all of us. Here, I'm just going to pray that real quick over you, and then I hope you guys have a good week. Maybe enjoy the snow. I might go for a walk out in the snow. I don't know yet. All right. So God, I pray that you would give us eyes to see. Give us eyes to see what you're doing, and then God, give us trust when our eyes see those things to know that it's you. And then God, I just pray that you would use us as you invite us into this thing, that you would just bring us into it with you. And that we would participate. And as we participate, we see more and more. Like that car driving down the street, we recognize it all the time. We see you working more and more. So God, thank you for being good. And we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Love you guys. See you later. See you soon. Enjoy the winter, because it's winter. Peace.